Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are in the part of the world. I hope you're safe from COVID-19. Welcome to Shibamata. I am your host, Marvin Epistolado, and this time presenting on behalf of ByFood here in Japan. We're located in a place called Shibamata, which is approximately about 20 minutes away from Asakusa and is not a well-known touristy place. And the reason being is because if you were to go to Google and try to look for famous places to see, most typically people will find Shibuya, Shinjuku, Asakusa, Ueno, and those places in central Tokyo, but there's little or no information according to this place in Shibamata. However, it's quite surprising because even though this place is quite small, it is rich in culture quite indeed. Japan ByFood is proud to present to you this quick guide to the Shibamata area to give you a glimpse of exactly what you can possibly eat to fill your stomachs. Anyway, I hope you're hungry when you're watching this. Stay tuned. Shibamata is a city that's full of history from the Edo period. It was once known as the bridge that connected both Chiba and Tokyo City. During the Edo period, there was this boat called the Yagiri no Watashi, which is this port that still exists right up until this day, that took people across the river that separate Chiba Prefecture and Tokyo City. One thing that surprised me about this is that the port still operates as an actual port, meaning that there are boats that still take people across the river, which in itself is historically amazing indeed. Shibamata is also known as the city of Torasan due to a famous movie called the Otoko wa Tsuraiyo, which is all shot right here in this location. And when you get off the station, immediately you can see and identify with all of the buildings that are built in the Showa period. We're just about to enter the grounds of Shibamata itself. We've just come by the store over here. Arigatou gozaimasu. I came from Australia.
Australia.
So, おすすめ場所はどこですか?
We have a lot of beautiful places ですね。帝釈天 Temple and 山本亭。
山本亭。
そう、山本亭 Japanese Garden。
ああ。
Very traditional 確かちょっとカリボロボロですけどね。Very beautiful。
そうですね。結構綺麗ですね。
Very Japanese traditional house and very beautiful Japanese garden. Its entrance fee is only 100 yen.
あ、表より安いですよね。
そうそうそう。で、if you want to try matcha or coffee, you can.
食べてもいい。ああ、食べられます。はい。
そうです。Very good place ですよ。I recommend you to visit 山本店。
はい。So there you go. Yamamoto is probably one of the best places to go to when you're in Shibamata. 教えていただき本当にありがとうございます。So just in case you're wondering, this store is just running from Shibamata Station. So この店はsouvenir shop.
Yeah, souvenir shop.
And just right in front of Shibamata Station. ありがとうございます。
Please touch golden poo.
Oh, that's a golden poo-poo right there. A golden poo-poo.
Yes, good luck poo. Good luck poo. You speak Japanese ですね。Golden poo. We say in Japanese 金のうんこでしょ。Golden poo でしょ。で、shorten.
ああ。
金うん。で、金 mean money.
Money ねですよね。
And gold sounds same in Japanese.
あ
あ。luck and poop. Also sounds same. So
なるほど。
金運 mean good luck for money. It's a play on word.
なるほど。Like a pun でしょうね。
Yes, real 24 gold coated. And many people have the good thing and come back here.
なるほどね。
Good luck for business, health, study, and love. Everything.
ありがとうございます。また戻ってきますのでよろしくお願いします。はい。ありがとうございます。結構最高だね。ハイテンションで紹介した英語で
大丈夫
です本当に。
大丈夫？
ありがとうございます。はい、また戻ってきますので。はい。ありがとうございます。So at the moment we're looking for a store called Tsuraiyo. We're looking for a store called Tsuraiyo on this thing, which I think this is it. Oh, this is it, Tsuraiyo. This is it, Tsuraiyo. はい、すみません、お願いします。This looks pretty tasty. It looks really, really tasty. So Tsuraiyo is a famous store, and it's actually one of the iconic stores that is featured in the film Otoko wa Tsuraiyo. It's famous for specifically serving the kusa mochi, which is a rice mochi ball with anko on top, which is the red bean paste. The kusa mochi is infused with the yomogi leaves, which gives it this green texture and the green look. And it's also known to have many health properties as well. So let's try it out, shall we? Wow. So first and foremost, the taste. Yeah, the first and foremost, the taste is sweet. The mochi itself, the rice itself is actually quite sticky as well. The sweetness comes predominantly from the red bean paste, and the texture is very chewy, very chewy. But indeed, I can imagine being quite filled from having these two little kusamochi snacks. Indeed, do try when you're here. So when you get to Shibamata and we walk through the Shotengai, you'll notice there are lots of posters and a figurine of a man with a large suitcase. That man is known as Tora-san from the movie Otoko wa Tsuraiyo. Now, Otoko wa Tsuraiyo is pretty much a man named Tora-san who wanders from city to city and eventually lands back here in Shibamata. The scenes will typically start with him dreaming of a successful life, successful marriage, but eventually he wakes up and realizes that his reality does not meet his expectations. His presence creates conflict within the family. He finds a love interest called Madonna, but unfortunately it leads to heartbrokenness at the end. It is a film which is known to have the Guinness World Record of being the longest running film to have the single most actor portray the entire character throughout the series. And that's the reason why this film is famous amongst the Japanese locals.
Hi,
so we got to our second food stop, which is called Mikawaya, which is a yakisoba stop. It's just literally you're in front of the station. We walked up and down the Shotengai at least a couple of times to look for this particular place, and we finally found it. The reason why this place is actually quite famous is because they also have yakisoba, but different variations of yakisoba, including down kare, to corn, and to eggs. So the food has finally arrived. Yes, finally. It's lunchtime, and I'm feeling kind of hungry after actually eating those sweets. So like I said before, I've ordered specifically the kare yakisoba, which in itself looks and smells quite amazing indeed. I mean, look, I've had a lot of yakisoba in the past, so I'm actually quite interested to see what it tastes like. It's one of my favorite festival foods here in Japan. So let's go eat, let's dig in, shall we? Itadakimasu. The texture of the noodle looks quite springy, but dipping it into the curry sauce. The curry sauce is actually very light and complements well with the springiness of the noodles. And then also we've also ordered a couple of two giant sausages as well. Thick, juicy, and tender. Perfectly cooked. And here we are at one of the first major stops at Shibamata, which is the Haikara Yokocho. It is a dagashi store that will definitely take you right to the past. The reason being is because most of the candy, as well as the interior architecture, is reminiscent to that of the Showa period. So when most of the local population in Japan visit the store, it reminds them of their childhood. Most people come into this place empty-handed and leave with a handful of candies. Wow, the inside of the store looks quite amazing indeed. It reminds me something of like Kyoto. Something that reminds me of Kyoto. And oh my god, look, tatami benches. And it's still got that strong and fresh tatami smell. You can tell that this store was recently quite built. And because it's approaching autumn, most stores in Japan also includes some maple leaf designs, which are quite omniscient. And one thing I've enjoyed and truly appreciate about Japan is that they change the decorations in accordance to the seasons. And during cherry blossom season, of course, you can just imagine this store endowed with cherry blossom leaves. We're having what kakigori is essentially just shaved ice with the assortment of syrups that they can add on top, which is mango, watermelon, and what have you. What we've selected for today specifically is the mango syrup to go specifically with the kakigori. For those who are familiar with Asian culture, kakigori, the kakigori equivalent in Korean would be bingsu. I'm Filipino myself, Filipino Australian, so therefore the closest equivalent to kakigori in Japanese would be the halo halo in Filipino. It's a newly opened store at Shibamata. Let's go try it out. I'm looking forward to eating some of the mango. The reason why is because mango is one of my favorite flavors. The shaved ice itself looks quite intriguing indeed. This looks pretty. Mango chunks are also included as well, which is absolutely great because there's nothing like eating great kakigori with the flavors on top. And I would assume that this would be like a sugar syrup. Oh, actually no, it's an extra mango syrup you can add on top as well. Oh my lord, it is starting to look good indeed. Perfect. But looking great is one thing, but how does it taste? Oh my god. Guys, if you are from Australia and you've ate like a mango Wheat bar, this is the equivalent of it. The texture itself is smooth, the ice itself is velvety, and the mango puree is in itself just right. Not too sweet, but absolutely, it's one of those things that melts right in your mouth. I'm glad we came here. A perfect summer treat. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching the Shibamata food tour guide brought to you by ByFood. Now, if you are interested in coming to Japan and interested in participating in any sort of food experience or food tour and want to contribute to the global community, please look no further than ByFood, in which they donate a part of your proceeds to feeding children in impoverished nations. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. See you.